Oh, howdy fellas. I've been doing some soul searching lately. Literally. Apparently the soulless life isn't as fun as I thought, so now I gotta go track that pesky sucker down if I don't want to die. Right now I'm trying to tap into some local radio stations to see if anybody see my soul running around, and... Oh, I got a signal. Let's listen. Aw, hell no.
Music is an important part of every video game. Most video games. Some really epic or sad music can add an extra or sometimes needed additional touch to an RPG. Some jolly, bouncy music can serve as some nice background noise for a kid-friendly platformer. But of course, there are so many genres of video games out there, meaning we need music for every type of scenario, including the scary ones.
If you're an avid fan of horror movies, you would know that the music really enhances the scariness and adds to the visuals you're seeing. Hell, I think I'm hearing some music outside right now that might prove my point. Yep, I'm shitting my pants right now.
Let's start with some good old EarthBound, the game that kickstarted my entire journey of talking to myself every week. It's a game filled with a ton of happy and quirky moments with bright colors and cute looking characters abound. But then you reach the end of the game and get a complete tone shift.
Nope, I can't do this.
This music paired with the visual of Giygas is horrifying. It's just so otherworldly and unintelligible. It goes through so many different shifts, feeling completely unpredictable, and I find that kind of thing super terrifying. I mean, the only way to beat this boss is by praying. That's your last line of defense. This music just really fits with the character of Giygas and the lore behind him. I won't go too deep into it since I'm sure there are plenty of other videos detailing that, but the music being so chaotic just works for a corrupted, confused being crying out for help.
Well, that was fun, but let's move on to something a little more traditional. The kind of music you think of when you think creepy.
The Legend of Zelda is a series that I think has some really great music befitting of a grand adventure to save a princess, but we're not here to talk about those tunes, unfortunately. I could really go for some Zelda shop music right now. One of the temples you have to conquer in Ocarina of Time is the Shadow Temple.
Oh boy, I'm sure a place like that is just filled with sunshine and rainbows. I'm gonna have nightmares for weeks.
But that's just the tip of the iceberg. Majora's Mask is well known within the Zelda community as being one of the scariest games in the Zelda series, being a total tone shift from the other games, featuring themes of death, depression, and grief. Let's listen to Ikana Valley's theme. Yeah, if you walk up somewhere and hear this start playing, I'd get the out of there. This theme is so simple and yet it does the job. It makes you feel like you're not welcome here and you need to turn back. This area of the game is just so desolate and lonely. Everything's so dreary. Not my ideal vacation. Then we have Majora's Incarnate theme from the final boss battle. Yeah, this is also creepy, but for an entirely different reason. A common theme in a lot of this music is that it's just so chaotic, and that's creepy. As human beings, we like predictability. If we know what to expect, we're okay with what happens. But the second you throw a curveball, we freak out. This song has such a chaotic energy, you don't know where the melody's gonna go next, and that makes it scary. Especially while you're fighting this thing. This song just perfectly represents everything that Majora's Mask is.
My worst nightmare. You cannot force me to play Majora's Mask. I would rather eat at Denny's with Mao Zedong than play that game.
We already talked about EarthBound, but let's hop back over to the Mother series real quick, because there's a track from Mother 3 that always gives me the chills. Yes, the Masked Man's battle theme. I see we're continuing that chaotic energy from before. Except now, it's worse. so much worse. Even without the context, I just find this track so disturbing, but in a good way? For some reason I can't help but want to hear more. It's like a car crash. I'm absolutely not going to spoil the context of this music, since this game isn't even officially localized, but it just hits different. Giygas had a terrifying theme, and he was so terrifying because he was so mysterious. You look at him, and you have absolutely no idea what he is. He's just some otherworldly being that unsettles you to your core. Mother 3's final boss is the exact opposite. By the time you reach this point, you know who you're fighting. It's a character you knew very well at one point, and that makes it worse. So much worse.
Mario, am I right? Love that guy. The guy who says yippee gives off all the good vibes, and nothing will ever change that. Oh, hell no. Absolutely fucking not.
So, Mario, the guy who says yippee? Yeah, him and Satan are in cahoots. This music is terrifying. Of course, this isn't your typical Mario game. Super Paper Mario is an RPG, and the Mario RPGs usually give off a pretty different vibe than the mainline games. That wasn't what I meant, but that works too. I hate this theme. I mean, I love it, just like the Masked Man theme, but I hate it. These are just pure demonic noises.
In my Mario game?
This music plays while you swim to the bottom of a river as these hands try to come up and grab you, which isn't that creepy in the actual game, it's just the music that makes it terrible. This is definitely a reference to the river Styx from Greek mythology, making up the boundary from the land of the living to the underworld. Yeah, I guess the music certainly fits that.
Yeah, I don't really remember learning that in school. But then again, the teacher taught us Greek mythology through Kid Icarus Uprising, so I think I got the better end of the stick here.
Alright, so Mario has successfully creeped me out, but surely Sonic would never. Well, Sonic CD's final boss theme. I don't find this theme that creepy, especially compared to some of the others we've already talked about, but I thought it deserved a mention. That laugh is pretty creepy, I've got to admit, but you throw that away and it's pretty much just an epic final boss theme. I do think it's really cool that this music helps to paint Robotnik in a truly evil light, because we pretty much lost that version of him. Not that the current Eggman is bad necessarily, but he serves a very different role than he did before. But also, it plays on this secret hidden screen within the game where you see Sonic with a terrifying human face. Yeah, pair with this visual, the music is horrifying. The text here, when translated into English, says, Infinite Fun, Sega Enterprises, Majin Picture. Majin translates to the devil.
I knew it!
But that's not what it means in this case. It's just a nickname of Masato Nishimura, a fellow who worked on the game and recorded Sonic's voice lines. Now, what is the scariest Pokemon theme? No, let me rephrase that. What is the creepiest Pokemon theme? Personally, I'd say the old Chateau theme from Diamond and Pearl is pretty far up there. Look, if you walk into a haunted house and the music screams, "Hey, I'm a haunted house," I'd say it's doing a good job. It's got that perfect, ominous, ghostly feeling that a haunted house needs. Now, the actual location isn't that scary. They never are in Pokemon games, just yet another dungeon to go through. But I appreciate them giving it some good, creepy music. It doesn't really do much for me, but if it makes some kid out there piss himself, I'm all for it.
But of course, we can't mention Pokemon without talking about the classic.
So simple, yet so effective. Now sure, you might find this theme more sad than creepy, which I can understand. It's a small little town with a graveyard as its main attraction. That's pretty sad. I think I mostly find it creepy due to everything that surrounds it. A classic creepypasta from back in the day was Lavender Town Syndrome. Rumor had it that Japanese kids who listened to this theme in the game were brainwashed into committing suicide. Of course, that was never a real thing, but I was really intrigued by that as a kid. Yeah, I was a weird kid. I had access to the internet at a young age, so I stumbled across all kinds of creepy stuff and sort of fell in love with it. Hearing this theme while still somewhat believing in this rumor really made it resonate with me. But also, it's just a little off-putting. It feels very out of place with everything else in the game. One minute you're strolling through the wild and listening to some triumphant adventure music, and then you walk right into Ghost Town.
Alright, we're almost done here. I don't think I can take any more sweating from all this scariness. I'm almost dehydrated. Too much sweat.
This is a good one. The ceremony music from Secret of Mana. Based on Indonesian gamelan music used in religious ceremonies, it provides a really creepy tone befitting of such a ceremony. It's just so unnerving. You walk in on this ceremony and you just feel out of place, like you shouldn't be here. The only ceremonies I'm personally interested in are the kind that bring Kid Icarus Uprising to the Nintendo Switch. Feel free to disagree if you want, but I have a personal top 3 creepy themes, with this one being included. In my eyes, this, River Twyg's Bed from Super Paper Mario, and the Max Man theme from Mother 3 form a trifecta of the kind of music that creeps me out. Coincidentally, these 3 tracks are also all used in MatPat's first ever FNAF theory, but that's just a coincidence. A game No, I'm not doing that. I refuse.
Wait, I just said the magic words, didn't I? The ones that start with F, and then with NAF? Fine, I'll talk about it.
I debated whether or not to talk about FNAF because the music from the first few games isn't original, it's all just stock stuff Scott Cawthon decided to use, but I might as well. Everybody knows Toreador March. Freddy shows up when the power goes out, plays the music box rendition, and then you win if you're lucky. After all these years, I'm kinda desensitized to it, but it is pretty creepy. Taking a beautiful orchestral piece and turning it into this is creepy. I'll admit it, but why? What about the music box makes it creepy? On their own, there's nothing creepy about music boxes. They're nice and peaceful, but that's just it. They're a childhood wonder for many people, so taking a music box piece and placing it in this creepy environment is a great perversion of that childhood wonder. I mean, that's the entire basis behind FNAF to begin with. Animatronics that entertain kids during the day are suddenly roaming around and trying to kill you at night. It was an ingenious idea by Scott Cawthon, but I'll stop sucking him off because I might have more plans for him in the future.
Well, that was fun. Music is great. Fear, not so much. I mean, people say they ate fear for breakfast, but I just don't eat breakfast, so kinda screwed. The hell? I thought I broke these. Oh hey, I finally tapped into something. Maybe my soul's out there.
Our pumpkin's just not enough for you this year. Your jack-o'-lantern just doesn't have the kick it needs. Come on down to the annual Kentucky Pumpkin Fest for a special deal.
I like deals. Bad example.
To spice things up, we're putting souls in our pumpkins. You know any famous dead guys? They might be here. You could come home with our pal John F. Kennedy, or maybe you'll be stuck carving up Adolf Hitler. Who knows?
Famous people. Famous people? I'm famous. I'm famous.